out again. This is my second lap round. I've been out since 6 o'clock. It's now about 10 past 7. I've only done one lap. Oh, it's a train. I've only done one lap because I've been stopping and taking photos of the moon, reflecting, you know, just enjoying the peace and quiet that is the morning time before the world starts, you know, when there are very few people up and about. Certainly very few people out. I've only really been seeing people around here now for the last 10-15 minutes. It's extremely dark this morning. I got a little bit freaked out because it was so dark, and my I should have brought my gloves because my hands are freezing. And my torch battery is dying. And as I started my second lap, it must have been a rat or something in the bushes, shrubs next to me. Freaked me out. So I went sat in my car for a bit. I was like, right, I'm just gonna wait until the sun starts to come up a little bit, which it has, so that's lightened things up a little bit, so I'm a little less freaked. So doing my second lap. And I thought I'd talk a little bit more about the ego, because the ego is such a massive subject, like huge subject, and it can feel quite complex to sort of people just learning about it. So the examples that I've sort of given are really like simple, basic examples, but it goes a lot deeper than that, and it can be quite confusing when you first start to learn about it and hear about it. But so I thought I'd talk about it a little bit more. Again, you'll have to excuse me with the sniffing. I haven't got any tissue. I need to be more prepared, really, don't I? Because I've been saying to myself for, oh God, how long? Ages, basically, that I want to come down. I want to bring some birdseed down for all the birds. And I keep forgetting. And I literally have loads of birdseed at home. But I keep forgetting. So when I get back today, first thing I'm going to do is fill a bag with birdseed and put it in my car so I don't forget it next time. So anyway, yeah, the ego. There's different types of ego. You've got your standard everyday ego that presents in many different ways. One, the way that will is trying to sabotage you from developing, from learning, from taking responsibility and accountability for your life. You've then got the ego that is about morning. You've then got the ego that's about being judgmental, and that can be judgmental on yourself and judgmental on others. And that can be especially difficult to recognize in the beginning, because it kind of disguises itself as I do it. I still do it now, even though I'm aware, you know, I still catch myself out doing it. You know, like I say, nobody's perfect. Nobody in this world is perfect. But that can be, try and thinking of an example. I'm going to try and think of an example that I've done recently. Well, not necessarily recently, but just something that I've done, or that I've caught myself doing, where I've been judgmental on others. Alright, this is just a general one. This isn't necessarily anything that I've done, although I probably have. We probably all have done this. When you're judging the way others parent, you know, everybody has their own morals, standards, beliefs when it comes to parenting and life in general. And we can be judgmental on others if their morals, standards and beliefs don't align with ours. But ultimately, as long as they're not hurting anybody, what does it matter? But you may find yourself going, well, why are they doing it like that? I don't agree with that. You know, that's a form of your ego coming in. Your ego, which is wanting to stop you from spreading love, feeling love, and all of that kind of stuff. So that can be a tricky one to actually identify when it happens, but yeah. And that can happen in all sorts of scenarios, you know, friendships, relationships. The relationship ego, the relationship ego will absolutely tear down relationships. It can be a lot more sort of complex and just straightforward. Morning. Hey?
I thought you got a dog when you were...
No, I haven't. Oh, hello. Hello. You have a sniff?
Yes, you'll have a sniff, see if you've got anything in the pocket.
Oh, no. No, I've already ate it. Enjoy your walk. Yeah, so the relationship ego can be a tough one. And when we think of relationships, it's any kind of relationship, to be honest. You know, intimate relationship, friendships, family relationships, all sorts. So that's one to look out for. And ways that you can spot that is if those thoughts that come into your mind are basically, if they are negative on the other person without looking at it from a larger perspective. It's a really simplistic way of explaining it, and that might confuse some people, so I try and break it down a little bit more, because we all have negative thoughts about people, and sometimes they can be true, they can be correct. So it's about going, right, I have this theory, I have this thought about this person. Is it actually true? where is that thought coming from? Is it coming from somewhere that is being triggered? An emotion is being triggered in me from a memory of something that I have been through. And so I am linking that memory and that emotion to this person. And if that is the case, you can unpick that a little bit further. My view is that the ego, we all deal with every day. But we also are all dealing with our own wounds, our own traumas from childhood, you know, throughout life basically. And those unhealed experiences, wounds and traumas can trigger our ego into a response. And when it's being, especially when it's being triggered, and to be honest with you, I believe that they all are triggered by wounds and traumas, that it is always going to be a negative response. So that's why healing is so important. Now the other type of ego is, and there may be others to be fair, I'm just talking about the two that I know of, that I'm aware of, that I've been learning about, is the spiritual ego. That being, can you see them birds? That being let me think of an example. Oh, right, really simple example. As you can tell, I like simple, straightforward. Wow, can you see them? Wow. Oh, just circling. I think they're seagulls. Okay, back to it. What was I saying? Spiritual ego. It is, yeah, simple example is me turning around and saying, I am healed. I have healed everything. That would be my ego. Because of course I haven't healed everything. If I'd have healed everything, do you think I'd actually be on this earth? No. You know, I believe in reincarnation. I believe in ancestral trauma. I believe in past lives. I believe in all of that. And if I was healed and didn't need to learn anymore, why would I be here? You know? So for people who come down to earth, people who are on earth living a human life, for them to say, oh, I'm healed, it's a load of bollocks, mate. This is epic. I've got to take a photo, guys. There we go. Needed to get that one. There'll be some more as the sun comes up a little bit more. It's going to be a nice pinky purple sky. So yeah, so that's a real simple example of the spiritual ego. Another example of the spiritual ego. Oh, that's a nice picture too. Oh, I'm gonna have to stop recording soon because there's too many really beautiful photos. That's blurry. Okay. Another example. Sorry, I keep getting distracted. ADHD. No, it's just that I'm in tune with everything around me and I'm seeing beautiful things and I want to look at them. So, yeah. So another example would be, let's say I'm talking about some healing that I've been doing, and I'm talking about it to a friend of mine who's also doing healing, you know, and maybe they've learned different things than I have. Maybe they're a little bit more advanced than I am. Maybe they're not, because really we're all on the same journey. Nobody's ahead of anybody else. And let's say I'm telling this person about, you know, work that I've been doing on myself, and they come in with their perspective. Maybe that's coming from something that they've learnt, and they turn around to me and they're like, "Oh, Gemma, have you thought about it in this way? Oh, this is slippery. Have you thought about it this way?" And I go, "Yeah, but that's not relevant because blah blah blah." That's my ego shutting it down, when actually there probably is something in it that I should be looking at. But because I believe or feel that I've done the work and that I know better, I shut it down. All that's doing is hindering my growth, hindering my healing, and that's my spiritual ego coming in, trying to sabotage. So yeah, that's a little bit more about egos anyway. Hope it helps. Have a nice day.